Hi guys, welcome back to Creative Frenzy. It's kind of a stormy day out today, so I thought I'd do some sketching and just have some fun with some watercolors. Yeah, nothing too spectacular to show. It's just a question of playing around and seeing what you like. So I've been working on this Moon Goddess series for a little while now. I don't know if any of you have seen my other video uh, called The Moon Goddess. Here she is right here. Ta-da! Can't really see her very well. There you go. There she is. So this is the first in a piece of the first piece in this series. Sorry about that. And I decided to do some sketching on this series. Nothing too realistic looking. I just wanted it to be fun and just more of a feel to it. So the idea is to just sort of play around with it. So I will show you. So basically, scrapbooking the series, but in sketching and watercolors. So I thought it'd be a little bit more fun to do it something this way. So, if you're short on ideas, which I sometimes am, obviously, hence this little um, menagerie of faces and jewelry pieces, uh, I just wanted to do something a little bit different. So the first one was the Moon Goddess. This is the, I guess I'll call her Luna. She has a halo of blue beads. I don't know if you can see her. There you go. So she turned out rather well. It's quite a large piece, so don't forget a lot of these faces are in different sizes. So some of them will be big, some of them will be small. This one will obviously be a much larger piece. It'll be really nice once it's on either some chain or some twine. Not twine, some cotton thread or some silk cord or something like that. I think it'd be really nice over top of a chunky sweater or something like that. But I gave her, the face is with the, oh shoot, the rose gold metallic nail polish. That's the word I was looking for. Nail polish. And I gave her, just sort of a bronzy kind of look. I like the play of the brass and then sort of a coppery bronzy look on the front. And then just having the different metals. I just really enjoy the depth it gives to the piece. And then I gave her this beautiful blue bead halo and this beautiful little headpiece. So she turned out rather well. I just attached her with E6000 glue. I did not want to put any holes in this piece. And as you can tell on the edges, I kept it kind of rough. So however the glue ended up being in the mold, that's how I left it. I did not trim this one at all. I just left it as is because I kind of like how it looks like an old relic kind of piece. So that's kind of the idea behind it. Excuse me. I think I have a cold coming on, so if I sound a little nasally, I apologize. Lucas, go lie down. Lie down. No, not there. Not there. That's where the camera is. No! See what I mean? Dogs don't listen. My goodness. I've had to revamp the whole setup, so he's confused as where he can lie down. Normally I have the door closed, but I forgot today. So anyway, I don't want to refilm this. So the brass plate comes like this, and that's what I make a lot of my jewelry pieces out of. So I will flatten it out, straighten it, texturize it, clean it, and only a little bit because I like the patina on them. It has a really nice darkness to it in some areas because these are quite old. I kind of like the way they are. So the next step is with these smaller ones, I wanted to do more of a cameo style. So I have these glass beads. I guess they were marbles or something like that at one time, and they flattened them out. I don't think they were marbles. That'd be awful big, but they're just the glass stone. They're non-drilled, which is nice, but they have a nice flat surface on the back, and it's slightly textured, so it'll hold the glue nicely when I go to glue it down. And here, again, you have to be careful when you pour the glue because if it's too bulging, it won't sit nicely on the stone. So keep that in mind for your future projects. And then all I've done was trim it and then do a glass bead circle, and that is what it will look like eventually. And then I put it onto something like this, because you have to have something to have the chain attached to. So that'll be the idea behind it. Oops, there she goes. So that's kind of the idea. I don't know how I'm going to do it. Just looking at my nails now, I might actually do some glittery kind of finish on some of these faces. See how that turns out. The final coat on this, what I've done was Future Floor Polish, and that really gives it a nice hard coat, and it protects it from, like, you know, dirt from your fingers and hairspray and whatever else. So it'll be really nice. It won't be hard necessarily, although it does seem to be quite a bit harder than I thought it would be. So, which is kind of nice. So the idea is to, I'm just gonna move out of the way, is to sketch these pieces and just sort of have a record on hand of how I'm going to, you know, sort of keep in mind that I do have photographs of these, obviously, which is great. I love photographs, but sometimes I'm short on ideas of how to, you know, what to sketch, and it's just kind of nice to be able to do something like this. It's something a little bit different for me. I haven't, other than my sketchbook here, where I do very preliminary, you know, sort of ideas of what I want to do. This is a bit more colorful, so I sort of have a bit more of an idea of how I want to sort of create things. And it's a little bit more fun and a little bit looser, a bit more detailed than my other sketchbook. Not much, but a little bit more. And I just kind of like the idea of playing around and just sort of having fun with it. I'm not being overly precise because it's not who I am. I like it kind of not cartoonish, but I don't want it to be too precious, you know? I kind of like having it loose and free. So that's the idea behind these. Now, faces I have been practicing with. I am still not the greatest. I really am not. It's one of those things I will have to keep practicing. But, you know, it's getting there. Let's put it that way. It looks like she has a bit of blue hair, but it's more of a halo. I just did it onto a copper washer, like a copper seal. And then I've just used different colors for the brass background here. I like the idea of being able to sort of give texture with different colors and just really make it a little bit more conclusive. Now, I find sometimes, you know, getting your pencil crayons, especially the, I want to say the Prismacolors, because those are the ones that work the best for me. Over top of watercolor, it really makes it stand out nicely, which is what I like. So, because these are technically supposed to be white, they won't really show up too much on this, but it'll have more of a hint of white. Excuse me for a second. Gotta love electric pencil sharpeners. And this is probably going to shake the camera a bit because it's not independent from the desk, unfortunately. But it'll be fine. So the idea is to just sort of play around and, you know, see what you can come up with. I like being able to use different colors and really make things pop. And it's not supposed to be an accurate representation by any means. I just sort of want to play around with colors and just sort of have that feel of something a bit different. I don't know, just playing, really. That's half the fun of having all these supplies, is being able to play. Because her face is not really pink in the original, but that's okay. There's nothing wrong with embellishing it a little bit. Because who knows, I might actually, you know, eventually do something a little bit more different with the jewelry. I don't know if I would ever, you know, make the, you know, the lips or anything like that any different color. Oh, definitely not orange. My goodness. I don't know where that came from. Like, I'm not so sure if I'd give her a red lip. Probably not, but that's okay. In this case, I'm not too concerned. But it's just fun to sort of get different mediums out and just try different things. Use markers if you wanted to. If you had different pencil crayons, you could even do that. It's kind of nice to just sort of play around. I'm using a permanent marker here because it's nice and dark. If it does bleed through, I'm not going to worry about it. It's something that I can just sort of play with as I go. But it's nice to be able to just sort of freehand and be kind of loose with it. Now, a lot of these pieces will not be finished for quite a while yet, so it's kind of nice to be able to sort of see in my imagination, you know, how it would turn out, kind of thing. Just sort of have that idea of the finished kind of product. So, because you never knew. Because sometimes projects will sit on my desk for quite some time before I get back around to it. Unfortunately, it's only because, you know, I have so many other ideas in my head that I don't want to do anything in particular at that point. You know, it's not because I want to be a perfectionist, it's because I don't know where I want to start. It's like I want to do it all at the same time. And that's part of my problem sometimes in the studio. It's like, no, you need to just calm down and try different things. And so it's sometimes very difficult to start one thing and do something else, unfortunately. For me, anyway. I know some people can take one project, go right from the beginning to the end, all in one fell swoop, and have no problems with it. I can't do that for some reason. I don't know why. But that is the way I am, unfortunately. There we go. So that's the general idea. You can see that. So I really just wanted the feeling of the moon kind of thing, and then just sort of creating like the cloudy effect in the background. So that's the idea. Whoops. And then I don't know what to do with the rest. So you could just end up coloring in the letters however you want, obviously. But I like the idea of all the different colors in the background. You know, a mixture of blue and some purples and greens. Just, I don't know, something different. Doesn't have to be too accurate. I just like the idea of it. The chance to be creative is all that really matters. I think if we allow ourselves to just sort of, you know, not judge how we're doing things, it allows for more freestyle kind of creativity. And I think it's important because we tend to judge ourselves and compare ourselves to others and to sort of, you know, it's like, oh, I'll never be that good, or I'll never do that, or, and that's okay. You know, it's not about competition. It's about doing your own better, better, good, better, best, you know, how it, you know, it's that mentality of being able to create something without judgment and being able to do it with such fun. You know, it should be fun. It should not be something that is too, I don't know, stressful. It's a great way to release some of that stress as long as you remember to let go of that stress. And that's the important thing. And it's just playing. That's all it is. It's not, you're not competing with anyone. You don't have to compare. Just, you know, have fun with it. Don't be too hard on yourself about it. It's not supposed to be taken seriously. Art is just a way to express yourself. That's all. And that's half the fun, or most of the fun for me anyway. But just creating is beautiful. And when you get the chance to create, it's even more beautiful because it's like, yes, you're taking the time for yourself and just doing something for you. And nobody else has to see it. If you don't want to, that's fine. Keep it private. You don't have to show everyone, especially if you're not overly. There are some pieces where I wonder, it's like, what have I done? But anyway, so that's the idea. So yeah, have fun with it. Like I said, if you're stuck for an idea, take some of the other projects that you've done, sketch them out, paint them up, have some fun. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a like and a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.